there is something else ID for this all device. So it is a logical abstraction that host controller gives to above layer is this one, and we will see how it gets reflected on further above level. So you know that above the host controller there is actual application that uses USB device. So for that application, all these things, your hub doesn't matter. You connect 10 hierarchies, it doesn't matter. It is just a device for the software.
I mean, so when you click in the browser, it really does not matter whether it is a mouse or something else. It just needs the interrupt.
Yes.
That's how it is. And for hub, it's just an address. It doesn't matter for him whether it's coming from mouse or somewhere else.
This is the simplicity USB provides to your application. Okay, so there are currently two most popular standards. 2.0 is the standard, and 3.0 is evolving, almost evolved. And the main difference is in 2.0, host controller will poll for the interrupts. In 3.0, device can actually request host controller so that now I want the service of interrupt. So that time only the host controller will serve the devices. So this reduces lot of overhead over the host controller. So moving further, I think this is
it is done that different devices are connected to host controller.
Okay, so
now
this is
whatever we discussed till now was at hardware level. Now the processor knows, okay, I have got an interrupt. It's come from so and so device, its address is 1011 something. Now it needs to do really something. So let's continue with the hardware level. Sorry, software level. We are done. What happens at hardware?
Okay, so what happens at software level, as Anirudh said, is this is a table, just a simple table, which is called as interrupt table. It is stored into your operating system. Operating system takes care of maintaining this table. So what this table contains is just the entries of interrupts that operating system can serve.
A very simple table can be this: interrupt number and what to do. And as we said, every device has got an ID and every device has got an interrupt ID. So if mouse sends an interrupt, it will say, okay, this is interrupt number say 5. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So when the processor gets the interrupt number 5, it knows what I have to do from this table. So it is maintained in your RAM.
Yeah, so operating system just refers this table and perform the corresponding operation. So if mouse click has happened, there will be some corresponding interrupt entry in this table. So operating system will know that okay, mouse click has event has occurred, I have to do something. So it will go into this table, it will go to some other data structure which is stored. We don't have to go inside this, okay? This is very complex thing, so we just need to understand the analogy. So then again, it will lead you to the actual set of instructions, code, which serves to your mouse click. So this is only the intention behind introducing this thing. Okay, so this is just the brief thing that interrupt vector table, like we said, this table is implemented using structure IDT in case of Linux. Then there is a device routine which gets called according to corresponding interrupt. Then there is something called as X server.
We will get into the details of all this.
What is X server? Then this X server understands the meaning of that called service. So there is some jump from that interrupts method to your X servers method. We will see how that happens. And then control of the execution goes from X server to your active window in which you are performing your mouse operation. So if you are clicking on a button, X server does that job for you, to locating that button on your whole screen and performing operation on that button. Okay. So this is something called as X server. X server is a software application that runs on your machine with operating system, with coordination with operating system. So what X server does, it takes care of your input devices, your output devices, plus your network interface. So X server is actually a project done by MIT in 1984 or something. So that project was made for remote host, remote desktop access. So what they did, they used to run instance of this X server on your local machine. Suppose I want to access this desktop on this desktop. So this desktop will run X server, this desktop will run X server. They will have some mutual understanding between each other, which is we called as protocol. So they will communicate with each other using X servers protocol, and this PC can send his actual desktop to this PC or vice versa using X server. So for that,
SE students, protocol is something like I say hello, you say hi. And initially, as we saw, hey dude, I've got an interrupt for you, and it says, okay, I'm doing some work, I'll come back to you later. This is a simple protocol. So similarly, for X server, we have a protocol for communication between two machines.
right, for that sake only, it can support X client from other machine.
X client is the application.
Yes, same application
Like a browser.
Yeah. So this is the job of X server. So we will get into it more. So there is something called as composite window manager. So I will just tell you what is composite window manager is. So see, you see a nice window in your Windows or Linux, anything. So that window is a structured architecture. There is some format, title bar, close button, minimize button, then buttons are added into some organized manner. And all these things are very complicated if you can think logically only. So managing all these things is very complicated job. For that, what operating system people did is they developed a separate application which take care of only windowing system, only windows that you see in your operating system are maintained by this component window manager.
So you know what happens is they didn't wanted the people like us who create browsers to get into the details, nitty-gritties of how, where it is clicked and XY location, what is the actual location of the mouse, how to get it from device driver. They just wanted, okay, let's make the Java programming pretty. So those who write browsers, they don't care about where is the X or Y location is. They just care about, okay, tell me which button is clicked. I'll take appropriate action. They don't care about how it happens internally. So what they did is they make a separate software which takes care of all this and tell the browser, okay, hey, this button is clicked. Can you do some action on it? For example, you know the hyperlink. It seems like, it's actually a text box. However, we cannot see it. So it will tell the application, okay, if there are 10 links, so it will tell, okay, this text box is clicked. And when that application gets that notification, it knows, okay, I have the browser. Chrome knows, for example, the 10th link is this. So it doesn't care about where XY is, where it was clicked. It just knows, okay, I've got the notification that the 10th text box is clicked. So that is why we have a separate X server as an entity in the operating system. It's a simple program.
Right. These are some actual implementations of component window manager. Compiz you must have heard. Compiz is the default in GNOME. So in Windows the desktop window manager is there. This is also very popular.
If you ask some questions, we have pretty for you.
Yeah.
So please ask questions.
Okay.
So, this is done. So, where we have reached? We started from brain, then to mouse, then from mouse to processor, then processor to X server. So, X server will check all this and tell the application, hey, this link is clicked. So, from in brain to brain, at mouse click on hyperlink, we have reached the situation where the link is clicked. Now, it's the job of browser to do all this. So, you see, a simple click is really very, very complex. And we have reached mid in this session. So what this, before we get into networking basics, let's continue with the browser. What the browser does is, it just parses the links. So the programmers have written the code, okay, Whenever a click on this happens, I'll pass the link and then appropriately take further actions. So it just says, okay, for example, xyz.com or for example, facebook.com. So it will ask facebook.com to send the appropriate page. But computers do not understand what is Facebook.com. It's a simple thing. Humans understand. This is for humans, not for computers. Computers understand only one and zero. Right? So we will see how browser takes care of all this. So let's continue with this. So the next part is how browser takes care of this using networking concepts. So can you start with LAN service?